All right, they say the third time's a charm. Welcome to week 3, Mossy Oak Moments. I'm telling you, it just keeps getting better. You know, Rusty McDaniels, he was here when all this hunting the country stuff was going on. He and I were talking about trimming, he was gonna trim the block down a little bit. It ain't really happening. We're getting in more and more cool content, and y'all are watching it. A couple of reasons for that. Number 1 is it's free. Number 2, it's awesome. And I tell you what, I never get tired of promoting it because it's free and it's something Mossy Oak can do for you guys. The Mossy Oak Go app has done unbelievably well. We kind of got our own little network here, and guess what? It's all hunting, fishing, trapping, shooting, outdoors people. How cool is that? Hey, what's coming up this week? Not sure. Let's go take a look. I can promise you this, it's gonna be exciting.
Well, sunrise is not long now, Miss Shannon.
No, it's not. Getting excited. Go time.
We have been working on a lot of women's and youth-centered projects lately, and Jess Rayleigh knew about the opportunity to come out here to Oklahoma, so he suggested that Terry and I come.
You ready, Terry?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think I'm more excited to see you bring a deer in than me.
I'm more excited to see me bring a deer in too. I've never hunted at all.
So
I'm quite excited. Well, hopefully that will be the case this morning. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We've been friends forever. She's worked for Mossy Oak forever. I've been affiliated with Mossy Oak forever. And so we kind of talked about it and was like, hey, that'd be kind of cool. Let's do it. So we took an 11-hour road trip out here to the Canadian River Hilton in Oklahoma and decided the 2 ladies were going buck hunting.
Yo, Shannon, are we gonna hunt or what?
We are going to hunt. We're going to hunt hard.
Oklahoma's looking promising this morning. We've got deer all around us. They've been active before the sun even come up. Hoping for good things. Before the sun had even risen, there were deer within our sight. You know, we were watching does and seeing activity, and it was that way nonstop all morning. And we had some real pretty young bucks come in, but just nothing we were looking for, you know, as far as hunting purposes, but just a lot of deer activity, a lot of fun watching everything going on. Wonder what the husband's doing with the kids this morning. Deer hunting for me is, it's part of my family, it's part of my life. We do it often as a family. I'll go out and hunt some, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time, and I certainly haven't buck hunted, you know, much at all. My favorite thing is to take a book, read it, you know. The kids are with Dad and they're blind, I'm in my blind. It's kind of a little quiet time waiting for the deer to come in. So when I came here, I was kind of expecting that same, oh, we're gonna be in there for a while, nothing's happening. And I was really shocked by, I mean, there was never a moment where I would have even considered pulling out a book. There were deer everywhere. The next morning is when things really that's when I really got pumped up and excited because we saw some mature bucks come in. There he is. I have to watch him through the scope. I can see. Be nice if she'd run right up through here like they've been doing. Make him follow her. What we got going on right now, we got a really nice 8-point just teasing us. Hiding behind the cedars over here, following a doe. Is that pretty boy back? No, is that our deer? Come on. Come on, baby. There we go, big boy. Man, I'll stick around. There's that little buck over here. Let's go. Almost thought a couple of times we were going to have an opportunity to do something, and it didn't work out, but I was still, you know, feeling really amped up about it. So when we went back this morning and it started kind of textbook again, I was not sure what to expect. Is this gonna go quiet again, or is this gonna follow the other mornings? You know, are we gonna see a lot of the young ones? The morning progressed and it followed the same pattern we had seen the past couple of days. It's a buck. Oh yeah, it's a pretty boy coming in again. He's kind of like clockwork around here with these does. And then it quietened down a lot, and it was getting late morning, and you know, I had kind of accepted, oh, it's not happening this morning, you know, we're gonna go eat some breakfast and come back and go at it again this afternoon, but I was wrong. We got a doe coming in from the right. We got the buck coming in behind her. That's it. That's the big 7 we saw come through yesterday. That's him. That's him. There you go. All right, he's following her, but he's behind these cedars right now. I can't get a sight of him, but I know he's right back here behind this doe. He's moved too far to the left. I don't have a shot on him. He walks across and comes in behind the blind where we couldn't see him anymore, and we kind of lifted a little flat. We're peeking to see if, you know, he had kept moving or not, and we saw him making a scrape on a tree right beside the blind. And so then it was like real excitement, heart pounding, like, oh, this might happen, you know, but maybe not. Just let's stay calm. Let's see what he does. Go lean over. There's the doe. There he is. Just went through that little opening. Get that on there. They should come out. I have to wait for him to come to this far side. There he is.
No, you killed him.
You think so?
Yeah, you crushed him.
I thought I was like, he didn't even act like he got hit. You sure? I don't want to get excited till
No, you crushed him like right there in the lower third. Yeah, it went right through. That deer's dead right there.
You think so?
Yes, I do. What are you shaking for?
I thought I missed him. I was about ready to cry. All right.
Yeah, as a woman, if you haven't been hunting, if you weren't introduced to it by a family member early on or something like that, and it can be kind of intimidating. And I think we might shy away from it even if we have an interest, and I think that's a mistake. You can go hunting and enjoy being in nature and enjoy watching these animals and just the beauty of God's creation. For me, it's a grounding thing. When I sit in a stand by myself and watch nature around me, it takes me to a place where, you know, the laundry doesn't matter, what I need to do at work tomorrow doesn't matter. It just reminds me that, you know, this world's so much bigger than whatever I'm doing each and every day. And I really, really, really enjoy that. And I hope more women will become comfortable going out in the field, even if you're not comfortable with the idea of, I want to go hunt and kill an animal. Get out there and see what it's like to, you know, find those animals and watch them in their environment. And, you know, if you're interested in providing food for your family, there is no better way. No better way. We had a conversation earlier about, you know, the current times and everything going on and people being fearful of, are we going to have food in the grocery store when we go there? And in my family, that's not a concern. And it's not only because my husband can provide it for us, it's because I know I can provide it for us. And as a woman, that is incredibly powerful. It's something I take a great amount of pride in, more so than any trophy I'm ever going to come home with, is the pride I take in knowing that I can provide for myself and my family if it comes down to it. It's a really cool thing. Justin's here. He's gonna help us go see if we can find our deer.
It's done.
I did.
Good job. Your patience finally paid off, didn't it?
Finally. Prior to all this, it's like, oh, you know, I enjoy hunting, I love it, but you know, I'm not a big buck hunter or anything. I don't care who you are. When one's in front of you, your heart rate goes through the roof and you become a big buck hunter. All right.
Look at that, would you?
Nice.
Man, look at that. Oh, got some gnarly old brows, got junk coming off the back of them. Another one coming off right here.
He's really naughty.
Naughty boy, wasn't he?
Here. He's
Tearing
been
it up
tearing
this
it up.
What a
It's
buck.
nice.
I'm just glad they finally sent a shooter out here. I mean, 20 years of some of these knothead guys have got you and Terry out here this week, and y'all just take care of business.
Yeah, the girls are bringing it home this
They
week.
are. They are.
I can't wait to get back and tell her.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
So coming into the 2020 deer season, I knew there were going to be some challenges that I had to overcome I had recently just moved to Iowa from Missouri, and I was gonna have to find some farms to hunt. So right off the bat, I was asking farmers to hunt their land, and I was getting a lot of no's. I was kind of getting disappointed, and finally the yeses started coming in. So as the season was kind of coming up, I was getting more excited to be able to go hunt. So I hung up some cameras, and right off the bat, I was getting tons and tons of doe pictures, and I knew that some does were gonna have to be thinned out before I started chasing the bucks.
I'm in the stand with my good friends down right now. We've got sort of a cold front rolling in right now. So hopefully the deer will come right in front of us. But we've got a strong north wind, so hopefully it's in our favor, so fingers crossed.
Beginning of season, my good friend Town and I, we went and sat in a double setup, and I told him there was a good chance that we were probably going to double up. So the first doe came in, and we watched her for a little bit. She kind of checked out the area. She kind of seemed like she didn't know for sure what was going on, but she finally cleared to where I could shoot her, and Town had a good spot to film her.
Just wait 1 second. Okay, yeah, ready? Yeah.
So I asked him if he was ready, and he said yeah. So I let an arrow fly right through the Boilermaker, and she didn't go 30 yards and piled up. Town and I celebrated for just a little bit, and it was back to business.
Our trucks just absolutely smoked it though, like 3 minutes ago. So we went ahead and switched stands because this one's a lot better for shooting. I was gonna try to have some fun, smoke some does. Let's get it. I wasn't gonna shoot her until she like stopped and then started to do something like, okay, you guys to work. Smells like deer. Smells bad.
Okay guys, so we just found my doe I shot. After Drexel shot his doe, we sat a little bit longer, and a bunch more does end up coming out. So I got a chance to shoot one, and she was at 45 yards. So I sent a 45-yard bomb and absolutely just smoked her. Like it's crazy. This entry hole is giant, but she maybe ran like, I don't know, 100 yards maybe, but found her.
Perfect. That's what we love to see. Right in front of us. Oh my God.
So shortly after Town and I had recovered our does, we got a very exciting phone call from Garrett Green. We got the news that he had shot the biggest buck of his life with a bow, and we were all pumped.
Dad, right here, don't move. Don't move, that big 9 is right over here on the far side of the fifth board.
Dude, I think that looked good, man.
Dude, I think it did. There was a lot of blood coming out.
We waited a couple hours, and we all went out and we tracked for the deer. It didn't take long, and we had found the deer piled up. It was a pretty exciting moment for all of us to spend that together. But after that, it was back to the drawing boards, and the rest of us were on the hunt for a good buck. For a couple weeks, it was really warm. I decided to stay out of my spots and, you know, give them a break. And as soon as the cold front would come through, I'd go in and hunt. And that's exactly what I did. And as soon as that cold front came through, it was like the third week of season.
This October 25th, and I'm back in the same stand I've been hunting with Garrett Green. We had a really good cold front come through, which really got the deer on their feet. So I've been hunting this spot really hard. I know there's a lot of good deer around the area, so fingers crossed.
I grabbed my rattling antlers, my ground call, and I made some noise. And within 10 minutes, I look up and there's a buck coming in. Couldn't tell at first quite what it was, but as soon as it started closing the distance, I knew that it was a shooter. It was a really nice buck. It was a pretty buck.
Grab your phone. Watch the camera.
And the deer actually made its way out to the cornfield where we were. He looked right, looked left, which was where we were, and headed straight for us. And I looked at Garrett and I said, "Hey, we're in the game."
That was freaking awesome. Dude, he's got a lot of trash. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, this tree's shaking so bad right now. I know, dude. Shot was a little high though. Yeah, but I think you're still good.
He stopped and I let an arrow fly and instantly knew that the shot was high. I wasn't really excited, but at the same time I was like, hey, I just shot the biggest buck of my life. And so Garrett and I high-fived a little bit, and we got down and went back to the truck and watched footage, and we gave it probably 6 or 7 hours, came back, and we tracked the deer for a really long ways. So we actually bumped the deer, and there was very minimal blood in the bed. Whenever we watched him run off, we knew that we had a good feeling that he wasn't going to die. Despite being down in the dumps over the deer, I had one in particular farm that the landowner's wish was that I stayed out unless I was hunting, and I couldn't leave a stand in the farm. I had to hang the stand, hunt it, take it down as soon as I was done. So this year I got permission on a new farm, and the farmer stressed I didn't use trail cameras or tree stands due to stealing. So I'm abiding by the rules, and I'm going to use a hunt stand to figure out where exactly I want to put my stands and where exactly that I think the deer are bedding and coming from and feeding in the evenings. That way I can hopefully have a successful season and seal the deal on a great Iowa whitetail. So, you know, going with that, Garrett Green and I, we went into this farm completely blind pretty much. We knew that there were deer there, but we didn't know what was there.
All right, it is October 30th, and we're back in the stand, and it's a nice morning, but we're supposed to have a southwest wind headed up, switching on us, but we had one spot to go to, so that's where we're at.
And it was probably 7:30 in the morning, and I rattled, and probably 10 minutes later, Garrett says, "Hey, big 8 coming in right here." As soon as the buck went down, we didn't waste any time on getting down and putting our hands on the buck. It was just an amazing feeling to actually capitalize on such a great moment. just rattling a buck in, just came in perfect. Everything was just picture perfect.
We just got down out of the stand. We're gonna go check out where I shot him. Pretty sure it's a complete pass-through, but we're not for sure, so we're gonna go check that out, and then we're gonna go walk over to the deer. We'll watch them fall, so we got a good idea where he's at. But we came in here, and I think we spooked a couple deer right from the get-go, coming in from the road. But other than that, it was a quiet morning, and we decided that, you know, it was time to get some action going, so we grunted and rattled, and about 10-15 minutes later, this guy just comes running in, mouth open and everything, and I don't know how clear the footage is, but he came in just ready to fight, but got about 20 yards in front of us, picture perfect, stopped him, and just let him have a clean passer and everything. Watched them drop.
Looking back, not being able to use tree stands or trail cameras, I thought to myself, what can I use to help me? And ultimately, I went right to hunt stand. Hunt stand helped me pick out the exact spot that I wanted, and that's what I did. That's exactly what helped me kill this deer. I'm really looking forward to next year. I'm going to put a lot more time into this specific farm. I'm going to scout a whole lot more and hopefully find something good that this farm has to offer.
I'm 15 feet up off the ground. I got my bow in my hand. I'm not making a sound. I'm just waiting patiently.
It is 66 degrees out and it's November 3rd, election day. And Joe P and I are going to tag team for the first time ever and hopefully put a buck down. We got clients for one more day, and then we got the free pass, but we're just pulling up here to this spot, and we're going to maybe put another blind in, I don't know, but I'm going to pull this one card, check the camera, see how good it's been. If it's not been good, then I'm going to put a camera on the other side and a blind on the other side, and then we'll have two different options, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it looks good. Custom job. Nice and secure. Let's see what she says. 8-pointer with a sticker, heavy, old buck. Seems like pretty good odds. There's been a couple of nice ones in daylight in the last couple of days. Tons of does. Each day later that we get with the does is going to be better. You want to be where the girls are at this time of year. Oh, that's a nice buck. Is that the same one? Yep. Yeah, I think he's number one so far. After checking the Reconyx and going through the card, there was a ton of daylight movement and a couple of shooters that were really regular in daylight the last few days. So even though we had warm weather, we decided that we were going to hunt because the wind was right and it was the right time of year, so we just had to hope that they would continue that pattern and keep moving in the daylight and come past us. too when I was getting ready to shoot, and then he turned away. And I thought it was right behind the shoulder, but I can't tell. He was losing a lot of blood when he ran away, so I'm pretty sure he's done right there. He made it over the hill, but... Looks pretty bloody. Shot looked good. Arrow looks good. And he just made it over the hill. I don't think he'll be too far over the hill, but I don't know. That's one of the bigger ones that I've ever killed body-wise. Look at his face. He's so fat. Beautiful buck. Wide. Got that dark rack. Looks like it literally looks like a Canadian deer, which there's not a whole lot of difference here and there, but man, they made it easy on us this year. It's like, it was 70 degrees this afternoon. It's cooled down now when the sun went down, but still, never did I think I'd be killing a North Dakota deer in November, whatever it is, 4th, with lightweight pants. Absolutely crazy. This one spoiled us. First night, lightweight pants, 70 degrees, in early. I don't even know what time. We're gonna get back home before dinner time. This is just too easy, but we'll take it. We'll take the easy ones for all the hard ones. Look at that, buddy. Is that a big buck?
Big buck.
Did you put a cage in the cage or what? Hey, what is it? What's the big bucks they say? Nice job. That's right. Yeah, good job. We had a great hunt, and to have a buck down and be able to bring it back to the lodge and have my family there and get to share that experience with my son, who was the first time he'd been around a buck when he knew what was going on anyway. That was pretty special. So all in all, just an amazing experience, and what a great way to start out the year for me. Here you go. Yes! Yeah!
All right, here's the deal. I don't have sponsors. I do stuff with Mossy Oak. I've been here for 34 years, forever. And the reason I started here is when I first looked at that pattern, I went, wow, because I was a turkey hunter, hunted public land, home to the National Forest. None of that's changed. If you saw what went through the detail of coming up with those patterns, and it means something. You know, if you watch TV now or you look at magazine ads, you see some of these patterns that have gray and blue, and it's like, what? Let me tell you something, camouflage matters. It matters a lot. You know, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, big and bold or whatever it is, but blending in means everything. That's how a hen quail survives. You know, a zebra does it by breaking up with those big black and white stripes way in. A hen quail up close does it by blending in. The colors, the shapes, that's all Toxie's ever been about, was blending in. It means something. Not only is it a big deal, hey, take it to the nth degree and buy your pants 3 or 4 inches longer so your boots don't pull up and show them white socks from when you was working all week. You know, paint your face. The first thing that's gonna be moving is your hands and your face. People wear their brand new camo pattern, they sit up there in their tree like this. Deer see that. I don't care what kind of rods and cones they have in their eye. The first thing they're gonna see is your hands and your face, because that's what you're moving. So camouflage makes a difference. Use it the proper way and stay hidden. It's as easy as that. All right, something tells me we're gonna go to the Midwest to deer hunt. Imagine that. You know, not everybody gets to go to the Midwest, but you know what? You can live through these guys. I live through people that get to hunt in Iowa and Ohio and up in there all the time. Love watching it. You might as well watch it if you're not gonna be there. Whitetail Edge, they in them.
I'm about to go lay my hands on my biggest buck, so bear with me if I lose it.
Genesis 27:3. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. This was Isaac talking to his son Esau. Before Isaac was about to pass, he wanted to share his blessing with Esau over a meal of venison. Even as far back as the times of the Bible, venison has been important to the human race. So now, join me and my blue-collar team as we chase giant whitetails across the Midwest. Our goal is to make you a better hunter. I'm Ben Rising, and this is Whitetail Edge.
Thank you, God, Jesus Christ. This amazing green.
Yeah, baby.
I'm about to go lay my hands on probably the biggest buck I've ever shot.
I just smoked the sheriff. Yep, he's going down, sis.
Beautiful buck. I couldn't be more happy to take him back home to Indiana.
There he is. Oh my gosh.
I just smoked a giant on a Black Widow mock scrape, baby. Yes.
Hi, and welcome to Whitetail Edge. I'm Ben Rising. This is episode 3, season 6 of Whitetail Edge. On this show today, we're bringing in a new guy called Shane Hamer. Shane's from Northern Ohio, and Shane is a guy that kind of was talking to a little bit here and there, and something about Shane, I was drawn to Shane. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. We get requests daily, pretty much, to be on Whitetail Edge. I'm very honored by that and flattered, but I just want everybody to know I can't take everybody. I just can't. Shane had actually sent me a YouTube resume, which was really cool, you know, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty neat. And he's a very personable person. He has a great camera presence.
I've been hunting my whole life, shot my first deer when I was 10, and ever since then I always wanted to share my adventures with people.
I thought, I'm gonna give this dude a shot. I invited him to the meeting, and once we hung around him a little bit and met him, I almost kind of didn't care if he killed deer or not, because I just like the guy. He's funny and he cracks me up.
I'm currently trying to find a good trail camera location. And like spot to put out maybe some mock scrapes. Field Edge would be my obvious spot, but I technically don't have permission to be over there yet, so I'm not going to be over there. I'm sure there's good deer using this area. I mean, I'm in southern Illinois, what could go wrong, right? But I'm going to try to find a spot, get a trail camera hung up, and then I got to head back to Ohio and go to work tomorrow.
Shane has filmed before for other people and done things, you know, so he knows how to film deer. But, you know, Whitetail Edge is just a little bit different, and, you know, Shane's got a self-film here on this hunt, these hunts that he's doing. He doesn't have a camera guy, which we all know self-filming is a very challenging thing to do on your own, and to get the kill on film and everything all at once. Shane really grounded out this year. I mean, he filmed lots of stuff, and I think you'll find this interesting, and I think you'll still learn things from this, because the one thing I kind of have respect about Shane in watching this is he never turns the camera on. I mean, this guy films everything, which takes a lot of time. You know, a lot of second angle footage, a lot of stuff about what he's doing. He's explaining everything. Even on his unsuccessful hunts, he's running that camera, making footage and showing us what his hunt's about. So that's the one thing I think with Whitetail Edge. People think that like we just walk out and we just slam these big deer on the ground, and it doesn't happen that way. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this.
Just got back from Illinois. Didn't have much action there. Rained the entire way back home. Didn't hunt yesterday because it rained so much. Rain finally stopped. It's a little chilly, but it's not. It's like in the low 60s right now. It's damp, so it makes it a little extra chilly. But down here in my river bottom spot, got a redneck blind in here. It's kind of a bummer. I had high hopes for this stand, and there hasn't really been any mature bucks cruising this. I had a real good buck in here last year. If I would have had a Spartan in here last year, I'm pretty sure I would have killed him, but I didn't. And he never showed up this year, so that's kind of a bummer. But the good news is there's a bunch of does in here, a couple different families of doe. So why not shoot a doe, right? I actually haven't shot anything with a bow in 2 years, so I'm kind of eager to let this prime bow behind me ready to let some arrows fly with it. So if I get a good shot at a doe tonight, I'm gonna be taking that. And I'm pretty close to the road, so it's a real easy drag. The doe, they like to bed up along this ridge, and like to catch them on their way to this cornfield to the north. But what I got going on, I got just a little bit of big time sprinkled out here in the opening. There's really not a spot for a tree stand up in the ridge where they'd probably like to just stay in the cover, but it's real secluded down here, so it kind of gives them an opportunity to come out into the field. They feel real safe out here, but just a little bit of big time sprinkled out there just to coax them out a little bit.
Everybody asks why I like black widow deer lures. Well, the proof is in the pudding.
So, my scrape's right here. First thing I'm gonna do, I wanna freshen this thing up to really get this deer paying attention anyway, so I'm gonna put this black widow on there. Yeah, baby. I just smoked a giant on a black widow mock scrape, baby.
Shane here. It's like October 20th, 21st, something like that. Red moon right now. I think the moon time's like 5:45. Coming down here. It's still kind of early, but I got a little bit of work to do to my tree stand. And this is like the last place I set up this year. And there's I put up an old trail cam. I started getting some good pics, so I wanted to get down here, get my Spartan hung up. I got it like a week ago, but I couldn't get the right wind to come down here. I just wanted to come down here, hang it, and hunt, and hope for the best. But so this is a real good creek bottom I'm in, and the deer really moved through here in November. I got doe bedding her head this way and some bucks back this way, so right in between them. But I want to get over here and get my Spartan hung up. I got a mock scrape already. I'm gonna freshen this guy up too, and then we're gonna get in the tree stand. I got a bunch of work to do in there. I brushed it all in early this fall. Dominator and the hot and ready, but the synthetics. I really love synthetic lures for scrapes, because I always leave this stuff in my bag and it gets warm out and you don't want it to go bad. But I already got this. I used branch butter on it too. That's in there. Farmer came in here, put a tile in, cleaned up a bunch of this. I had a tree stand over here a few years back. After they cleaned this all up, I was limited. There's really no spots for tree stand. The spot I'm at, I'm about 6-7 feet off the ground. put them in a log jam where they, I don't know if you want to call it a log jam, but where they pushed all the deadfall up. You know, everything they chopped down, they pushed here, pushed over there. They rerouted the creek. I don't have a whole lot of cover, but it might be doable. So I had it brushed in really, really good when I first hung the stand, but of course you guys know, once the leaves fall off and all that, it's really not that great looking. So I'll probably be like Ace Ventura every time I come in here. I'll be cutting branches, walking in with them just to give me that much more extra cover. Easy access to this spot. I was real nervous when they cleaned all this out if the deer were still gonna use it. If you're a deer down in here, you can't be seen from the road, but there's a couple really good bucks in here. One's a shooter for sure. Nice 10-pointer. The other one I could really use another good look at or get some more pictures of. I just hung the Spartan in here, put out some Black Widow. So, looking forward to this spot this year. But yeah, I'm gonna finish getting set up. It's a little late. It's taking me a lot of time to get everything figured out. I had a tree I'm on. I had to use some eye bolts to attach my camera arm. But yeah, that's what we got going on. So. just smoked them though. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say right now. It's my first year filming for Whitetail Edge. The plan was for the deer to come come on through in November, not tonight. I got a couple minutes of light left, so I'm gonna review the footage real quick, and I'm gonna get over there and see if I can find some blood over here.
These guys, everybody on this team is giving up their basic, the one thing they love to do the most, and that's enjoy hunting. They actually give up a little bit of that enjoyment, in a sense, because of the camera, because it is so much work. And, you know, just like here with Shane, walking into this tree, and he's got to do some work first. He's got to, you know, to get his camera arm to set up right and all that, he's got to put lag bolts in the tree. He's got to do different things. He's making a new setup. So he's got his, you know, you can see his Novix in the picture here. He's got it hung on this tree, and, you know, just a lot of work, you know, especially for new things. But like he said, even in the video, he thought he was going to more or less go in and hunt, see what the deer were doing, set this setup, and have it there ready for November. And so, lo and behold, this deer makes its appearance on the red moon.
I've been working a real long, hard time trying to get these big mature bucks to do what I need them to do. And after last year, I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep on filming. That's a story for another time. But I want to thank everyone at Whitetail Edge for treating me like I'm freaking family, man. Big shout out to Ben, of course. Big shout out to Kyle Kinsey. And big shout out to Davey Stuckey. You know, Davey's been there answering all my text messages, any questions I've had about anything, and I'm about to go lay my hands on probably the biggest buck I've ever shot. So let's go take a look at him together. It's I shot him last night. It was red moon. Moon time was 5:45. I'd have to look at the phone. I probably shot him 6:15 or something, and there wasn't a lot of good blood, so backed out, came in here at 5 o'clock this morning with my buddy Kevin. He's got the best tracking dog in the county, and I'm about to go lay my hands on my biggest buck, so bear with me if I lose it. That's what I'm talking about. This is why you hunt right here, bucks like this. I think I found this buck shed a few years back, maybe, but I guess it really doesn't matter because this was the deer I wanted this year, and I can't believe we found him. It rained so hard, like stupid train ruining my moment. It rained so hard last night. We get it. He must know we found a buck, Kevin. He's like, hey. But we're gonna get him out of here. Sun be coming up here in the next hour or so we get some good pictures of him. And I just can't believe we found him. I'm a loss for words. Whitetail Edge, man, this is where it's at. I want to say one thing about Whitetail Edge. I'm a student, all right? I'm here to learn. Ben, he kills some amazing deer. All the guys on the team kill amazing deer, and I want to kill amazing deer. And when Ben and Kyle invited me down to the team meeting, there was two things I learned. One was from Davey Stuckey, which I think we all know, you can't kill big deer unless you're hunting big deer. So you got to go out and find them first. And then I've been wanting to kill a deer in October for the last 3-4 years. I've really noticed that a lot of these good bucks fall this last, that last red moon of October. And there was something I wasn't doing right while hunting the red moon. All my trail cams, everything worked out as far as, telling me that's the week to be out. But what Ben pointed out was when that red moon is peaked in the sky,
with an hour to a daylight left, those are the days to hunt, and that's exactly what happened here. And
there's a pattern also that I think, me personally, that I like, is when the red moon is falling in the evenings and or rising in the evening within 2 hours of dark. Those are magical days. Same in the morning. If the red moon is like peaking like 2 hours after daylight, or at daylight in 2 hours, 3 hours after, and deer are still coming back to bed or things, those are magical days. Like, those are the best days that you're going to catch big bucks on their feet in the red moon. Me personally believing that. That's what I think. That's been my experience. My cameras prove it also. Just like the other day, I could have called it that I was going to get some good mature deer on their feet. And I had 3 different cameras. Bang, bang, bang. Three mature deer. You know, not giant bucks, but mature deer on their feet during the day at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just stuff like that this will really help you. And I'm trying to find an example here of a red moon day in the fall that like is something that you probably want to pay attention to. I really can't.
Late October.
Is there one in late October?
That time's about right. Yeah, October 23rd.
Yep. So you switch dial, you go to that number, 7:36 p.m., 7:07 a.m. So yeah, I mean, that's after, the peak is after dark at that time of the year, obviously. But if you go, so like right here, October 20th, 4:45 p.m., October 18th, that's going to be, October 18th to the 23rd are going to be magical. I've killed three booners on October 23rd. And now the red moon's hitting the same time. One of the things with Shane that you'll see here that kind of make this hunt successful, Shane paid attention. He learned a little bit about the red moon. He was using the Moon Guide app. You know, and the Moon Guide app, if you don't have it, you should have it. There's a lot of things you can learn from it. And like Shane's telling you here what he learned from the Moon Guide app and what he learned from us and what my experiences have been with the Moon Guide app and the Moon Guide dial. When that red moon peaks and it's within that hour to 2 hours before and after dark and daylight, they're magical times. Those are the best times to be hunting on those red moons. They just up your chances a little bit more. But you got to be in the roundhouse where you think that deer is going to move first before you can just say, okay, this is foolproof. Because nothing is foolproof. As you can see, he kind of knew where he needed to be. And those deer moved within shooting distance of him. Obviously, that deer somewhat picked him out. That was a new setup. He was very low on the ground, kind of a plain Jane tree, but he made as much cover as he could around himself. That older buck kind of knew something wasn't right. He kind of turned, walked off camera. Shane couldn't tell that he'd walked off camera, and he shot anyways. Everybody on Whitetail Edge gets one pass. Okay, Shane? One. You get one pass, and you used yours on the very first year. Congratulations, buddy.
My Spartans are just blowing up right now. Just got a picture of a good buck in Illinois. He's not a shooter, but just the picture itself was so beautiful with all the frost and the sun coming up. So this morning was the morning to be out. My other spots, everything just kind of blew up this morning on the Spartans, which is cool. But it's gonna warm up here later in the week, which is not cool. So, like I said, I was wanting to be there. I was wanting to get to Illinois last night, but I didn't get enough stuff done this weekend, so I had to leave this morning. But I should be able to get there in time. I go through a time zone, so that gives me an hour there. Plus we fell back an hour, so I'm all confused of what time it's gonna be. So I should be able to hunt this evening, and then I think I'm gonna hunt the same stand tomorrow morning because it's easy to get into. And then I got another 40 acres I'm gonna go check out, possibly do a hanging hunt, or just hang in, get out of there, and I don't know what.
Guess I should have put out some black widow this morning. You couldn't smell nothing. And the wind was going right at him. He circled. I didn't think he would circle that far. Not a bad little buck though. Spangler shot one in Illinois. I got this guy over here chopping down trees. He thinks he's a lumberjack like that. And he probably only cut trees this big around. Ben cuts big ones down, you know. So my dad just texted me, he shot a monster buck there in Ohio. We seen this buck last year. He's got the biggest bases I've ever seen. And I was hanging a stand for him last week. I told him, I'm like, you're gonna kill that big one. My dad's 61 years old, he's never killed a deer over 130 inches. He's been bow hunting forever, and I finally talked him into using a crossbow. It's been a little hit or miss with the bow and arrow the last few years, so I'm like, you gotta start using the crossbow, man. And this buck is something special, so I'm about to finish up here. I'm gonna jump in my car and head home back to Ohio, and I ain't gonna get there till super, super late, but I'm ready to see this guy. I watched him for months last year, months on a farm that I wasn't allowed to hunt anymore. Well, we had corn right where it needed to be this year, and that's where my dad connected on him, so I can't wait to get some good pictures. I'm ecstatic right now. Like I said, my dad's never killed a big buck. They had a good buck coming through here. He didn't present a shot. Big deal. No big deal. But I got about another 10 minutes and I'm gonna climb down and I'm gonna boogie back to Ohio to hang out with my dad, man. I'm so happy for him.
You know, we appreciate you guys watching Whitetail Edge. We hope you learned a little bit from this show. We're glad to have Shane on. I think Shane's demeanor and his attitude and just his disposition, he'll be a great add to Whitetail Edge, and I really look forward as to what Shane's going to bring to the future of this team. So
thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching, and you guys get to watch me grow. So hopefully this is one of many bucks you guys get to see me harvest here on Whitetail Edge. So thanks for watching, guys.
We've got some new guys that we keep adding here and there, like I said, trying to change things up and, you know, just make Whitetail Edge better all the time. So again, thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to you, the fans. Without you, we don't have a show. So keep watching us right here on Mossy Oak Go, and we'll see you next week.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people.
God, we thank you for this food.
And giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
All right, y'all might think that Mossy Oak Classics is my favorite part of the show. Ingredient Wild is my favorite part of the show. I'm just telling you, there's nothing can bring a hunting camp together better than food. I wrote a whole chapter in a book about hunting camp food and what it does to people. And look, I'm wanting to take my game up. I want to raise that bar. And this segment right here, you can do it. Some of the best chefs there are doing, venison, whatever it is. Now, I ain't flipped over into cooking duck breast yet. I'm assuming we'll see that at some point. But right now, my favorite part of the show, Ingredient Wild. Let's eat up.
How's it going? My name is Jeremiah with From Field to Plate. I'm going to teach you a simple way to make a cheesesteak. What we have right here is we've actually got smoked venison that we did on the pellet smoker earlier. We smoked it to 120 degrees. So what we're gonna do is, we want it that color, we want it raw, because as we reheat it up on our flat top or in your pan, you want it to release all of its juices back into the pan so it doesn't dry out. We have basic white onions, basic bell peppers, some garlic, some aged white cheddar, and our hoagie rolls. It's that simple. All right, so what we're gonna do first, we're gonna take some oil, and we're gonna put it in our pan or on our flat top. What we want is we want our oil to start to dance, which means you're gonna start to see it move a little bit. It's gonna start to make lines like waves in the ocean. Once that oil gets real hot and starts to dance, you're gonna take all of your onions, 100% of it, and you're gonna place it right there. You wanna hear that sizzle. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get those onions to caramelize, which is releasing all the onions, all the sugar that's in that onion. Let those set. As those are setting and starting to cook, we're gonna add our garlic. Garlic's gonna burn. So we want to make sure it goes on top of the onions, because we're going to start allowing those garlic to start to just bloom and give that flavor of garlic. We don't want to brown it just yet. Then we're going to take our peppers, we're going to put it right next to our onions. We're going to allow those to get soft and those to start to allow all that flavor of that to actually come out. Once this onion starts to brown up a little bit, we're going to start flipping it and mixing in all those good ingredients. As those onions start to break down, what we can start doing with our hoagie rolls is we're gonna take our roll that's already been cut, a little bit of hot butter, we're gonna baste our rolls and place them right onto that flat top to get it nice and charred and get it nice and crispy. As you can see, the onions are starting to caramelize, starting to turn brown. That's what we want. We don't want them to be overcooked. We want them to still have a nice bite to them, but we want them to start releasing and start getting a little bit softer. Once the onions start to char, you're gonna start to see bubbles on the skin of your bell peppers. It's gonna be time for us to finish up some rolls, and then we're gonna start over there on our meat. So what we're gonna do with our meat is we're gonna take our meat, we're gonna put it directly on there. We can put a little bit of butter down there. Throw our meat right on there. Start getting that nice and hot. Now to add a liquid, we're gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. That's gonna kind of add that more earthy flavor, that more depth to it. It's gonna help it smoke and steam. Once the meat starts to turn brown, we don't want it to cook all the way. We're gonna fold in our vegetables into our meat. You'll see at some places where they place the meat, then they place the veggies and the cheese. Since we're doing it on a flat top, we want that cheese to melt over all the onions and all the peppers. Then we're gonna flatten it out. We're gonna take our aged cheddar. You can take any white melty cheese you want. You can take provolone, you can take Munster, you can take Cheese Whiz if you want to go more that route. And we're gonna put it on there, a hefty amount. We're gonna let that keep cooking. If you got something you can place over it, like a big pan or a lid, place that over it to allow that steam to get over that cheese and get all melty in there as well. You're gonna take one of your buns. You're gonna cut off a little section, a spatula full. You're gonna fill that roll right up on in there. And it's that simple, it's that easy, and it tastes absolutely incredible.
Another cup, another tank of gas. One more road sign I just passed. Looks like I'll be just in time to see that sunrise in the blind.
You know, modern technology allows hunters a lot of advantages, from aerial maps to weather, but even the most veteran hunter can sometimes get caught up looking at his phone at the wrong time. Ford gets a lesson in this firsthand. On this episode of Homegrown Experience, we join Ford Musselman and his dad Austin on an October youth hunt here in Kentucky.
So last night, it was the opening of Kentucky Youth Rifle, and I got to go on my first hunt for rifle season this year with my dad. We got in the blind very early. We decided we were going to go in there early.
Today is, what day is it? October 10th, 2020. It's the first day of youth rifle season, and we're out in Kentucky.
We didn't see much at the start. We just saw birds, and that's about it.
Playing games. I'm multitasking.
Me and my dad were waiting there for a few hours probably. And then at one point we were both looking down on our phones. And then he looked up and he said, like, "Ford, don't move." And I was like, I had my phone in my hand and I saw the deer just staring me down. And my dad kept saying, "Get on him, get on him." I'm like, "Dad, I can't." He's looking at me. And He finally looked away for a second. I got on him. Yeah, I saw where it went in.
Was that him though?
I'm pretty sure. You said it was him.
I'm pretty sure it was him. It's a big tall deer.
Better have been him.
Good job. All right, buddy. That happened fast.
Yeah.
What happened?
God, you kept telling me to get on him. I'm like, he's looking at me. So we were both on our phones and we looked up and he was staring at us and he would not stop staring for like a minute. And I was standing there and I couldn't move at all. It was 5:51. It's so early.
Good job, buddy. All right. We're gonna wait a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. Should we drive out? Should we sneak out, you think?
Out.
Do you have a signal at all?
No, sometimes it comes in. Like one bar.
Okay, let's sneak out.
I know. It's that here, I think.
Yep.
And that way, you must be on it right.
All right, just he's in there. Be ready. You got him good. He's not getting up. Took a left.
Okay, you stayed on this
Oh,
side.
right there on that lead? Oh, all over there.
Yep.
Blood tracking is one of my favorite parts of the hunt. Oh, he must have gone down. Yep, there's blood down there. Just usually in the nighttime or during the day, tracking the blood, losing the trail, and then finding again. And just tracking it through all sorts of terrain, like through creek, uphill, stuff like that. It's very exciting. It's just so exciting for me, just knowing that, like, at the end of the trail, there's a deer. You might have turned. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what? You see him? All right. See it. Got it. Made the right shot.
Yep.
Good job. Look at, he's got like a little, he's got 2 points there. He's a 12-pointer. I don't know if you count it. Yeah, you might count that.
Count him as 11.
Uh-huh. He's just a big mature deer. His neck's all swollen.
Yeah.
All right. You gotta do the rest.
Work begins.
Yep. We're Todd and I are going back to the truck. You got it from here.
Good job, boys.
Yep. That's cool. Cool deer.
Definitely.
All right, got another Mossy Oak Classics hunt. I want to say we're going to the vault, it's solid gold and all that, because I was kind of there for most of them, was really there for this one. They brought this one up and I was like, man, I hadn't seen that in years. And it's M.R. James now. If that name doesn't mean anything to you, he was the founder, the co-owner, started, published Bowhunter magazine. And back in the day, there wasn't no such thing, and all of a sudden you see a magazine on the rack with all them other magazines, Look and Life and Motor Trend and all that. There's a bow hunting magazine. So M.R. James to me was a big deal. So first time I saw him was at like an outdoor riders event, and I went up and introduced myself. I was kind of intimidated. One of the most humble, nicest people I ever been around. And he was a fan of the TV show because he was a fan of hunting, and he knew we promoted it in the right way. Long story short, he called me and said, "Cuz, I'm going to Texas to kill a deer. Would you like to film it?" And I'm like, "I'm in." I didn't care what else was going on. He said, "Now, look, by the way, I'm going to do it from the ground, spot and stalk." And my head just dropped. And let me tell you something. I just didn't fall off the turnip truck. I know what it means when you say spot and stalk a white-tailed deer. That's so hard to do. But the bottom line is he got it done and took my big butt along with him. Still to this day, one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. So let's go check out M.R. James' Mossy Oak Classic.
I got to know Wayne at another South Texas operation he and Jared were running a few years ago. I came down to speak to the Lone Star bow hunters. We went javelina hunting, Larry Jones and I, and we had a hoot. Wayne's great. Barbara, his wife, is a super person. Jared, his son, is neat. Wayne and Jared are both bow hunters, my kind of people. And we just hit it off. I've been down here 3 times now. Managed to take a couple of record book animals each time down. This time I still have hopes to put a good one on the meat pole. But whether I do or not, again, sharing this time with good friends and Dave is what it's all about. And I've hunted Texas quite a bit, but this is just a different place. What happens when there's good management, when the animals are not over-hunted. And this is truly the case here. Wayne's got a lot of good experience. He knows what he's doing with these animals. It's harvesting. That's exactly what it is. It's harvesting a renewable resource. These animals get to be exceptionally large, and they don't have that hunting pressure. And it's a treat. I look forward to these annual trips. I really do. I tell people it only has to make my book. I don't care. I've been involved in Pope and Young Club for years. I'm proud to be a senior member. I'm proud to serve on the board of directors. But what I shoot is another thing that to me is truly special. And this buck, the way it was taken, the sharing, being out there and seeing him, I didn't give a thought to the size of his antlers. It was a situation, and that situation was another definition of the word special.
There he is, MR. He's right to the right of a big green cat claw.
I got it. What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's headed up toward that windmill. The water hose there. We come by there earlier today.
Right.
Those were there. Nobody's going to work right up there. Two of them probably running a scrape line going up that way. I think if we circle back here to the left, we can get between him and that water hole. He might walk right by us.
Let's try it.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. get a call from M.R. James, the guy who started Bowhunter Magazine, and he said that I'm fixing to go try to take a deer down in Texas, spot and stalk style. No high fence, free range deer, and I'm like, man, that's a pretty tough call right there. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know, if he can pull that off, that'd be a neat TV show. So I met him out there at South Texas, a place called 4 Hours Outfitters. That part of Texas is very unique. I don't know if they call it the coastal plains or whatever, but some areas will have big sand dunes. You can almost smell the salt air. The wind blows constantly, and for some reason it grows really big deer. Not much pressure on them, so being able to spot them on the ground was pretty easy. Now getting in bow range, that was another deal. And like I say, it took about 6 or 7 days for us to pull this off. And MR is a very patient guy, good bow hunter, and it took 5 or 6 days, and we got a lot of close encounters with deer, but he ended up making that happen, which was, to me, amazing. I was lucky to be there.
Oh, here's my arrow. I don't think there's any real need to check it very closely from the position of that hit, but gonna go get Wayne and go get my deer. I think he went right down this trail here, Wayne.
I bet he did. They'll generally get on something, you know, a game trail, instead of cut through all that brush there.
Let's go find him.
Nice buck.
Big deer. Full deer.
Good mass. Good mass.
Dark antlers.
Good for sure.
5 on the left, 4 on the right. 9-point buck. Beauty.
Hey, congratulations.
Appreciate this.
Good shot.
I'm tickled.
Yeah, you should be. That was a good hunt. Well, let's say try to get him back out to the road there before we get to him and take him back to camp, see what the other hunters did.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by the new specially designed, lightweight, and durable Tenzing Hang Time Day Pack. Go further, hunt longer, Tenzing.
I mean, he exceeded my expectations. He was bigger than I thought. Friday looks like it's going to be amazing weather here in Iowa. Deer should be on their feet. Deercast is saying it's going to be great. Absolute stud of a whitetail.
That might stinker. Nice job.
This is always a team effort. Couldn't be more pleased to be able to target and wrap my tag around a beautiful Iowa 8.
Hi everyone, welcome to Dream Season Live. I literally just got in this blind about 5 minutes ago. It's 5:30 now. I've got a doe, a small doe, like 12 yards. So they're on their feet. We've had a cold front come through, big front push through. I bet we've had 2 to 2.5 inches of rain in the last 18 hours. We're in the muddy blind and we're on my farm. We've got a handful of hitless bucks here that are 5 or older. Just whichever one comes out, if any of them do, is gonna get an arrow. The night's starting off very good. The does are on their feet early. I've had buddies that are getting photos of deer moving on their cell cams right now. So fingers crossed, something good happens tonight.
As you can see, I had a pretty awesome hunt this evening. Almost got it done. That buck we call Top Hat, so seeing him in person and seeing him that close, I mean, he exceeded my expectations. He was bigger than I thought. When we first gained access to this farm in 2019, he was a homebody. He was on it quite often. And then last year, 2020, he was on it as well, just not quite as bit. This year, he's been on it on the farm quite often, and today was the first time that I'd ever laid eyes on him. Those bucks that were sparring and snort wheezing and causing all kinds of commotion, I think that really got him fired up. So when that deer entered the plot, I thought for sure he'd come in, I'd get an opportunity at him. I had a doe to my right, and he actually stopped at, I think I remember range finding him, it was 31 yards. I moved the camera around. He took off chasing that doe, and he chased her off to my right, and she ran into the woods, and then he worked a scrape over there to the right. And after that, after maybe a minute of working that scrape, he headed up the timber line and away from me. So unfortunately, we were close this evening. We just didn't quite get it done. But looking at the forecast here, it's supposed to get better towards the end of the week. Friday looks like it's going to be amazing weather here in Iowa. Deer should be on their feet. DeerCast is saying it's going to be great. Then this weekend, early muzzleloader season starts. Weather looks good. I know Blake will be out, and then Alex will be out. I'll be filming Alex. We may end up being right back in there again after Top has. So we'll see what happens, and quite a few of us will be out in the coming weeks and the remainder of the season.
Well, October 17th, day 2 of Iowa's muzzleloader season. Last night we had a slow night, unfortunately. However, our most recent intel shows a really mature buck on this plot we're getting ready to go to. It's the same biologic plot that I killed my buck in Junkyard in 2019. This corner of the farm in particular seems to always produce this time of year, especially over a green food source. So Alex is hunting the opposite side of the farm tonight with Chris behind the camera, and we actually flipped a coin and she lost, so that's why I'm here. We think we've got a really good chance at either getting on this deer or another mature buck. It's just interesting that we don't have a lot of summer intel. And these bucks start to move in about mid-October to late October in this particular corner. So who knows what could show up tonight. It should be very exciting, and we're gonna go see what we can put together. Welcome to my humble abode. Step in. All right, October 17th. Jake and I just crawled back into the blind that I killed Junkyard out of 2 years ago. Trail camera's the most recent intel. We've got a big mature 8 that was using this plot, or has showed up and started using this plot as recently as last night. We got pictures of him just after last light. There's a good chance he was out here during daylight hours, so hopefully he's here. But guess we hope he does the same thing. He's using this as a primary food source. We'll see if we can make it 2 in a row out of this blind during early muzzleloader season for me. Well, that might be the 8 with the sticker. What we got for shooting light here? 641. I don't know if he's gonna get to the field. He's got the edges right now. Okay. wasn't the specific buck we were coming in here for, but he's one that was on our list. So I thought we were going to end up shooting him here at about 40 yards, but he started dogging a doe, which gave me enough time to get the window open and the gun out. But he's laying right on the edge of the plot, so pounded him. Cool. Well,
Team Redbeard down.
That's right. Another one for the books. Gotta love this time of year. Gotta love it. So, get some of our stuff packed up. Go take a look at him. Awesome. It's a good way to kick off Dream Season Live 21.
It's second day here in Iowa for early muzzleloader season. We saw a bunch of deer tonight, just not the right one. Blake's sitting on the same farm as me right now, so he shot about 20 minutes ago, shot a really nice mature 8-pointer, so we're gonna go help him load that up and take some pictures, and then stay tuned.
Yeah, man.
Congrats, Blake. That's awesome.
You're gonna have to work on your coin toss game.
I know.
Well, here he is. It's the second day of early muzzleloader season here in Iowa, and we managed to punch our tag on this old 8 that was on our hit list. He's frequented this biologic plot pretty much all fall. He's been a regular. This is a farm that Chris Taylor, Alex, and I have shared for several years, and all managed together. So couldn't be more pleased to be able to target and wrap my tag around a beautiful Iowa 8. He's got a lot of character with his dagger point off of his base and a surprise point off of the back of that same main beam. We couldn't see that in any of the trail cam photos. So again, just couldn't be more pleased. This is always a team effort. Put a lot of work in throughout the summer on various farms to make these things come together. So between that, and I've got Jake behind the camera, basically I was just a lucky guy that got to pull the trigger tonight. So make sure you go over to the DeerCast app and follow Dream Season Live. This hunt and many others throughout the season are going to be brought to you on all of the Drury Outdoor platforms, but specifically the DeerCast app.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by the incredibly durable Morel shooting target. With many designs available, you're sure to find a target that fits your practicing style.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people.
God, we thank you for this food.
And giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
All right, that's it for episode 3, Mossy Oak Moments, live. It should be a routine now. That's 3. So whatever you do, spread the word, share a post. Wednesday nights, Mossy Oak Moments Live. The content's getting better and better. At some point, we're still doing whitetails and bow hunting and all that. At some point, it'll lean over to ducks and geese and all that stuff, but that's okay. People like that stuff too. The main thing is, be right back here next week, Mossy Oak Moments Live.